This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So, hey guys, good morning. So, this is the second session of July 2024 batch. Okay. And just one small request, whenever you are joining a training, please make sure you connect at least 10 minutes before the session. So, that shows your dedication towards the training. Kindly make sure by 7 o'clock everybody is in the session. Okay. Now, let's start with a quick recap of what we have discussed in the last session. So I'm not going to recap, but I'm going to ask you questions and you are going to tell me. So let me pull somebody from the session. Um, Rajshri, Rajeshri, can you tell me what are the various studios we have in Pega? Rajeshri, are you there?
Sorry.
Yes. Would you be
Yeah,
able to tell me like what are the various studios we have in Pega?
yeah, I can. Yeah, first one is Dev Studio, App Studio, Admin Studio, and Prediction Studio.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, Soumya, can you tell me what is the use of dev and admin studios? Who are going to use it?
Yeah, Dev is for developers, Nikhila, and Admin Studio is for administrators who took care of the servers and all the
Mhm.
administrator things.
So, what kind of administrative things they'll be doing? Just for example,
Uh, kind of, or, how can I say?
background jobs.
eh,
They will start
yes,
and stop the
they
background jobs, any errors in the background jobs, any exceptions in the background jobs, or dealing with the servers. All these kind of things. The general, or looking at the requesters, how many people are there, all those kind of things. To kill a requester and all, they can use Admin Studio.
yeah, okay,
Even you'll be learning more about admin studios, like we trace the background jobs and various things we do, which you'll be learning down the lane. Okay.
yeah. uh,
So, Anam, can you tell me about the other two studios, that is Prediction Studio and App Studio?
Hi, Nikhila. Good morning. Yes,
Very good morning.
App
Hmm.
Studio is used by basically the BAs managers
Hmm.
to create workflows or database table operator and access group.
Hmm.
And Prediction Studio is basically used by data scientists.
Okay, so this is how I exactly want you to answer. The Anim's answer was perfect when compared to rest of the
Thank
people.
you.
Guys, so you just have to tell me like what do you do in the studio as well. Okay, so if you tell me like dev is for developer, admin is for administrators, app is for no, tell me what you can do in that. So Dev Studio, I can create rules, I can create tables, I can do all those things. App Studio, we can only do some part of the Dev Studio. It's basically for non-technical people. Non-technical people means in the project who are non-technical. Manager is a non-technical person, BA is a non-technical person. So those guys will
Nikhila,
come
can I
and do
help
some.
you?
Yeah, let me complete it, Raj, please. So those
Okay,
guys
okay.
are going to do something like, creating the workflows, creating tables, creating operators. So basic things they can do there, but not in real time. Nobody is actually using it. But theoretically, when you answer in the interviews, just you have to mention that this is the purpose of each studio. And Prediction Studio is purely for data scientists. So no need to elaborate more on that, because data scientists, they have their own set of tasks to do, which we are not aware of. Okay. So Raj, you want to add something?
Or just only I answer that every studios I think best.
Sure, please.
Can I write?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. It's basically I think the studio is nothing but a portal we have to access the login page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dev Studio is different types of studios. One is Dev Studio, App Studio, or
Mm.
Admin Studio, Prediction Studio.
Okay.
And the Dev Studio, who is a developer teams will use to create on code. is nothing but a I think this one is also nothing but a one of the portal page is also studio is will get dev studio is a place. Okay, that is
Mm-hmm.
also app. Click on the app button. I think is inside of the page. App button is placed in
Okay,
the
no,
particular in the
that's okay. Raj, you need not tell me about the navigation. Just tell me, like in Dev Studio, what do you do?
Okay, Dev Studio is who is a developer teams will use to create on a code or rules anything,
Mm-hmm.
and App Studio is a non-technical people like business analysts, managers to create on workflows, data tables, operators, access groups, anything, all things
Mm-hmm.
from here. And Admin Studio, this is the App Studio is a case type of collection of everything as a data, and Admin Studio is
No, one
also
second. App Studio is not a case type or collection of data. Okay. So, App Studio, you can create case types, you can create some DB tables, you can create operators. You can
yeah,
create
okay,
there. Okay. No, no.
okay, sure, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And the Admin Studio is who used by the administrators
Mhm,
to manage the background jobs, cache, servers,
mhm.
request, anything that. And the Production Studio is used by the only for
Data
data
scientists.
scientists or yeah, and artificial intelligence also. I think.
Not AI, but data scientists, maybe they do this machine learning actually.
But
They feed the data, they
is
read. Yeah, but it is not required for us to talk about Prediction Studio in the interviews as well, because we are not
okay.
data scientists. So we only tell them like this is used by data scientists. That's it. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
perfect.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
remember, we have 4 studios in Pega, and these are the purpose of each of the studios. Okay, now we are jumping into the actual topics, the next topics. So next topic, if you look at your I should have opened the course content. So next topic in the course content is actually operator IDs and security in Pega. So before I talk about operator ID and security in Pega, okay, just a second, I would like to, okay, just a moment, I would like to show you something. uh Let me pause my screen. Okay, and I'm resharing. Guys, please go on mute if you're not speaking. There's some background noise. Okay. So now, before we talk about operators, I just want to explain you a general scenario. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, okay, I want to book a ticket in Go Ibibo website. Okay. Or, I just go to a website. Okay. And I want to do a booking. So when I'm trying to do a booking, what is the first thing that the website expects me to do? So, I enter the first name, I wanted the from the two, and, I select a bus. And when I proceed to log in, what is the first thing that they expect from me? Let's say, for example, I'm just going to Hyderabad to Mumbai or Mysore, whatever it is. Okay, and I select the search this.
Log into the application.
Exactly. So every application expects you to log in. See, if I try to book it, okay, and I try to proceed further, oh, I have to fill all this, which is not possible. See, the mandatory thing here is you have to log in, right? So before I log in, what is the thing? I have to register myself in the application. Only if I register myself in the application, I have to sign up, right? Only if I sign up and I log in, I can access this application and book a flight. Otherwise, I cannot do that. So, in order to work in any application, it is mandatory for you to first get access to that application. How can I get access to that application? By registering myself in that application. Similarly, take IRCTC. Okay. So when I try to, access IRCTC, I can't just go ahead and book the ticket. I am supposed to register. I am supposed to log in, right? It is mandatory. So what do you do in the registration? You just fill your information like, first name, last name, all this information you're going to fill. First name, last name, language preferred, some security questions, and you also have some personal details to be filled, your date of birth, you know, marital status, country, gender, nationality, phone number, and then comes the address. So what is all this? It's all registration. Now, why are you registering into the application? Because I want to get access to that application. So in order to access an application, I should first register. Now, what is registration? Just creating a username and a password and giving all your data so that they are storing your data for future use. So what data they are storing? All your personal data, all the basic data they are storing in the application, and then they took only the username and the password and allow you to log in the next time. Similarly, take any banking website, maybe like HDFC or Citibank, you know take any banking website. What is the first thing they expect you to do? Say you're supposed to register yourself, only then you can log in. So without registering, without logging in, I can't access the application. So that is clear, right? You go to any application, let it be Amazon, let it be Mintra, let it be Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever application you're using, it is mandatory. You have to register. And what do you do in the registration? You provide your basic information. Even here, when I try to do the net banking, what is the first thing that it asks me? I have to register. First time user, register. Now, in the registration, what is it going to ask you? The customer ID, XYZ stuff, it will ask you. Of course, it will ask you your card number, OTPs, CVVs, the first name, last name, the branch details, the IFSC code, all that it is going to ask you. So, registration means providing all the information about the user so that the application is going to store it somewhere. Now, login means you just use only username and password, nothing but credentials to log in into the application to get access to that application, right? So, no application in the world can be accessed without registering into it and without logging into it, right? Okay. So, now, same is the case with PEGA. Now, when I want to access any PEGA application, the first thing that I have to do is register myself into the application and create a username and password so that I can access the application. Okay. Now, first let me start PRPC. Is it already up and running? Okay. If it's already up and running, let me take you to the home screen. So, for those of you who have just installed PRPC, guys, whenever you want to work on PEGA, please make sure you click on the first icon, startup icon. Hey, the icons may not be in sequence, you have to put them in a sequence. So put start at the top and login in the middle and shut down at the bottom. So first click on startup. You will see a command prompt launching like this. So it is starting the Tomcat server, it is establishing the connection with the database, and everything will happen here. Okay, you have nothing to do here. Just wait for a minute or two. A message will come. Server starts in milliseconds. If you missed that message, that is still okay. Just wait for a minute and click on the login button. No need to look for that message here. Just click on the login button. It will open in a browser. So whatever is the default browser in your machine, in that browser it will open. Preferably use Edge and Chrome. Don't use IE. It has been not supported right now. So use Edge or Chrome. Then, once you're done with your work, click on shutdown before you shut down your laptop. Otherwise, server will crash and it will not open tomorrow. And while you're working on Pega, please do not close this window. Closing this is also going to crash the server and it is not going to connect tomorrow. Okay, there are chances it may not connect. So please make sure you retain it like this. Don't touch it till you're done and only click on the shutdown icon. Now, the default credentials to log in into any Pega application is administrator at pega.com and install is the password. Log in into the application. Now, how did I get access to this application? Because my registration is already done. The operator ID, the credentials are already created. So that is the reason I'm able to log in. So now what is an operator ID? Operator ID is nothing but a username and a password that we use to access a PEGA application. So operator ID means just the user's information, the username and the password plus the user information we store in PEGA so that you can grant him access to a project. Now in PEGA, I just joined a new company. Okay, they tagged me to HSBC project. Now how can I get access to the project? I need to register, then I'll have a username and a password. Then with that username and password, I can log in. Then as a developer, I can start doing coding and everything. So this particular username and password and the personal details and the professional details you're storing in the website is called as operator ID. Okay. So just like your any other website that you just saw, when you register, what are the basic thing that you provide? Your basic details, your personal details, your professional details, depending upon the website, the data may vary, right? Banking website will ask you credit card, debit card, XYZ, CVVs and all. IRCTC will ask you something else. So depending upon the website, what data you're providing while registering will differ from website to website. So this is called as operator ID in PEGA. In PEGA, we call it as operator ID. Operator ID means just registering yourself into the application, creating a username and a password so that tomorrow I can access the application by logging with that username and password. Okay. Now let me show you how an operator ID looks in PEGA. So I just logged into the application because I already have access. Administrated.pega.com is a default username and password provided by PEGA for all the versions of PEGA. Okay, you need not register to create that. It's by default given by PEGA. Now you have to create your own operator ID like Nikhila at someproject.com or Kritika at someproject.com. So you have to create your own operator IDs for the project to which you're tagged to. Okay. Now, what exactly is stored in this operator ID in PEGA? Let's see. So, bottom left, you can see the operator ID like this. Okay. Bottom left. Now, it will not be A always. Okay. It just takes the first name of the operator ID. If it is Nikhila, it will be N here. If it is Sanjay, it will be S here. Okay. So, the first letter just depends upon, whatever is the first letter, depending on that, this icon will come. Now, what exactly you are storing in the operator ID in PEGA? We are storing the basic personal information like Mr., Mrs., first name, last name, full name, designation, phone number, email address, your time zone, and your locale. We'll come back to access group. Ignore this for now. Your picture, work information, which company, which team you are working, what's your team name, who is your reporting manager, what skills do you have, and something at the bottom which you'll be learning later, work queues and all, and which country business calendar you're following. Business calendar means it contains what are the public holidays and all that information. What are the working days, what are the non-working days we will store in this. What is your leave plan, from which day to which day you have a planned leave. When you're on leave, who is your substitute. Now here comes the password. No, the password to log in into the application, we update it. You can click on update password and you can give your password. And few settings related to the password we will discuss in the next few minutes. History, every rule in PEGA will have history. History means like why did you create it, when did you create it, where are you using it. Just some information we will write down here so that people who are new can go to the history and understand, okay, what is the purpose of this. Okay, it's not mandatory to write, but it is a good practice to write history. So important things you need to remember is operator ID here contains some basic information about the user like name, designation, phone number, email address, some professional information like company, team, manager, skills, etc., and your password. So this is almost similar to your IRCTC registration form, right? You're just filling all the basic information about the operator and you have to save it. And whatever you give here is your username. Okay. And whatever you give here is your password. So next time when you want to log in, you have to log in with this username and with this password. So now how do I register into Pega? See, if you log out, We don't see any registration option here, right? You only see a login option. There's no link to say new user register here. There's no such option given by Pega. And generally, we don't even do such kind of configuration even in the real time projects. So when I join a company and I'm tagged to some project like HSBC or Citibank or something, I'm tagged to some project. Now, how can I get access to that application? Okay. So how do you get access to this application? Generally, your
Admin
man.
role, admin.
Let me explain. Okay. So generally, either your team lead or your colleague or your manager are going to assist you in creating the operator IDs and sharing with you. So let's say, for example, I'm your team lead. I already have access to the application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new operator ID for you and put some password for you, and I'm going to share it with you. So how will I do that? Let me show you. Suppose, let's say, for example, Soumya joined my company. She is a part of my project now. Okay. So I have to create an operator ID for her. So what I will do is I can just take my operator ID. Okay. uh, and I'll do a save as. Okay, when you click on this arrow, you see save as. I'll do a save as. Okay, so this is the email ID with which Soumya is going to log in. So Soumya at the rate whatever is your project.com. Okay, so this is the user ID, guys. This is the actual user ID with which Soumya is supposed to log in. Okay, now just update it. Her name is Soumya. She is not administrator. So Soumya, her phone number, her email address. Okay. So this email address and this email address can be different. This email address is on the email address on which you want to receive application updates. So this can be an Outlook email address. This can be a Gmail. This can be anything. Okay. But this is the email address to log in into Pega. So this and this are not same. So please don't get confused. This is just an email address to receive updates from the application. Okay. So this and this are not same. You can keep it same, but generally this and this are not same in any project. If you want to receive updates, we give Outlook email address or Gmail address and all such things. Generally Outlook, because in companies we use Outlook, you will have Outlook email address here. Now you fill all the information about Soumya, Soumya's reporting manager, Soumya's company, team names, and give some password for Soumya. I'm just giving some default password as rules, RULES, but you can give any password. Now save your changes. Make sure you save it. If you don't save and say, Soumya, please log in, it is not going to work. You have to save it. Now she can log in with this credentials. So like this. So when you join a company, okay, you will not see any registration option to register into your application. The only way that you can get access to the application is somebody from your team has to create an operator ID and they have to share it with you. Only then you can log in into your application. Okay. Now, in certain projects or in certain companies or in most of the companies actually, we don't directly create operator ID. There is a process. Okay. So we will talk about it in the next few minutes. First, let's learn about operator ID, the purpose, where it is stored and all that. Then I will tell you, why we don't create operator ID straight away like this. Why do we have a process and all? I'll talk about it. The first thing is like why you did not have a registration screen. Why Pega didn't give you a registration screen, or why are we not building registration screens in real-time projects? Anybody has any idea? Why are
because
we?
it's a
Mhm,
because it's intranet application, so it
mhm.
is meant for used by only the company people and secondly, you want to restrict who can use it.
Exactly right. The most important thing is you want to restrict who can use. See, if you look at this IRCTC application or GoIBIBO or HDFC, anybody can use it, right? I can log in. All of you guys, all 70 people can log in. It's not going to stop any of you from logging in. But when I go to a company, let's say in my organization we have 20 PEGA projects. It is not my choice, right? I go to this, okay, I love this project, let me log in and register and look at the code. Oh, no, no, I didn't like it, it looks little tough, let me log in into a different project and look at the code. No, I'm not supposed to do like that, right? So you can't just go and register into whichever project you want, log in, look at the code, delete something. You're not supposed to do like that. So when you are being recruited, they recruit you for a specific project. They are going to grant you access to only that particular project. You are not given a choice to register, log in to whichever application you want. So the first thing is like you want to restrict the access. I don't want everybody to play with my application. So restricted access is the first thing. Very good, Subodh. So that is the reason we never actually put a registration form in any of these applications. Now, who is going to create an operator ID for you? Anyone from the team. Now, again, there's a chance of risk, right? Suppose, I have an old friend of mine in that project, and she said, "Hey, we have a piece of code where we are using Chat GPT in my project." I said, like, can you please give me access? I just want to look at the code. I love to implement Chat GPT in my POC. And she is, because an old friend of me, she can create an operator ID and she can give it to me, and I can log in and I can mess up with the code, right? So in real time, even people don't give access to everybody to create operators. Only administrators can create operators, or sometimes not even admin. Sometimes we have a different portal. Okay. In that portal, you have to enter all the details, which application, okay, why do you need access? You have to fill all the data. It's like raising a ticket. You have to raise a ticket. So this ticket will go to your manager, application owner, and different people, it will go to them for approval. So your manager has to approve, that application owner has to approve, and different other people will also be there who have to approve it. Only after everybody approves your ticket, automatically operator ID will be created. So they will have some piece of code, okay, to automatically create operator ID in Pega. And then the operator ID will be created and you will receive a mail. Hey Nikhila, you are now granted access to this application. Please log in with this username and password. And I'm going to log in. So like this, in real time, don't expect, somebody to have a registration link, or don't expect your team, to create an operator ID for you. So when you log in, when you get into a project, ask your team members, hey, I'm tagged to this project. Can you help me in getting access to it? So they will tell you, hey, go to this portal, raise a ticket, or they will tell you, hey, ping this person. He is the administrator. Ask him to create an operator ID. Okay. So in either of the two ways, you will get access to the application. There's no process of registration because we want to restrict the access. We don't want everybody to play with the project. Anybody has any questions so far?
I have a
Nick-
question.
Yes, one at a time, please.
Is it possible to like use AD to create operator ID, or somebody has to manually create it?
So as I told you, when we raise a ticket and all, we have some piece of code which triggers in the backend and automatically creates operator IDs.
So there's no AD integration for this?
It can be
I think
anything. See, it can be an LDAP, it can be entitlements, it can be, you have a lot of tools, right, which we use
Okay.
to do SSO, single sign-ons. So we use,
Yeah,
but before the single sign-on, you have to get the approvals in the ticket.
true. Yeah. Okay.
So all that happens. Okay. Now, those of you who don't know single sign-on, please take a pause. I'm going to explain it in the next few minutes. Any other?
Nikhila, I think, yeah, Nikhila, only for we will have access the any operator ID will be create and update or delete any giving the access for only administrator or
Yeah.
any other.
Generally, see again, it depends on project to project. Okay. Team to team, it differs. So if there are only one or two people in your team, maybe both of you will have administrator access so that you can create, update, and delete operators. Let's say it's a huge team of like 10 members, 20 members. So maybe you will give this access only to one or two people who can create, update, and delete operators. Rest of them will not have access. So it
Okay.
depends how you configure in your project.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me. Sangeeta, are you clear on this? Any questions, Sangeeta?
No, Nikhila, I'm good.
Okay. Vinay, any questions? Rupa, any questions?
Hi, Nikhila. I am Somnath.
Yes, Omnath, please.
Ma'am, is there any time limit for PEGA account? Because you will be working on the client project. No, up to client project, it will be active or depend upon the project.
Which one? Which one active?
Any time limit
No, there is no time.
access
No, there
account.
is no time limit in the operator ID. As long as you are in that project, it will be there. When you are removed from the project, I mean, like you moved out of the company or you moved out of the project, people will manually remove the operator IDs. Okay,
Okay.
so we will delete it.
Okay, ma'am.
There is no expiry for the operator ID.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's move ahead again. Please understand that what is an operator ID? Operator ID is nothing but it is just like a registration form into an application. It will contain all the personal information and professional information about the user. And the basic thing is like you are using that credentials, username and password to access the application. So operator ID means it's just containing all the information about the user and his username and password to log in into the application. Okay. And in real time, we actually raise a ticket to get an access to the application, and when the ticket is approved, automatically operator IDs will be created in Pega. But this is a POC, so you have to create operator IDs manually. Now, where do I find all the operator IDs in my project? Where can I see all the operator IDs? So this is my operator ID when I log in. Where can I see my friends, colleagues, or everybody's operator ID? So go to Records Explorer. I told you we call all these things as explorers. Records Explorer. Okay. These all are called as categories. Organization category, and over here operator. You have to remember these navigations. Records Explorer, organization category, operator ID. So I will see all the operator IDs here. All the operator IDs. Okay. And you can open any operator ID and you can add, update, you can do anything if you are an administrator. If not, you will get an error. Sorry, you don't have privilege to update the operator IDs. If you are an administrator, you can do anything. Okay. Now, this is how you can access the operator IDs. Now, how can I create a new operator ID? So, one way to create an operator ID is simplest way. Take an existing one, click on Save As, or take any of the existing operators here, do a Save As. This is a simple way to create. How can I create from the scratch? You can just right click on the operator ID and say create. Okay. Or you can create an organization, right click and say create operator ID. Or you can click on this create button and say organization operator ID. See, the navigation is same. Organization operator ID. Organization operator ID. Or here operator ID. So wherever you go, navigation is same. Organization, operator ID. So you use create from here, or you use create from here, or you use create from here is your choice. End of the day, it's all one and the same. Now what do you type here? The username to log in into the application. Ria at the rate, let's say it is Google. google.com. This is the username. This and this can be different. Okay, don't confuse this with this. Now give her first name, last name, full name, email address, access group, I'll talk about it. Then come here, which company, which division, which unit. Like, let's say I'm taking Google. It's already there. Wonderful. Okay. Navigation. Company, division, team, all the time giving. Which team, some team name, reporting manager. I'm just only filling the mandatory fields. Okay. Password. Give any password of your choice. Default access group. Okay, I didn't give the access group. 1 second. That's it. Operator ID is created. So you create an operator ID from anywhere, but the navigation always remains the same. Organization operator ID. Even from here, it's organization operator ID. You can create an operator ID and make sure you click on the save button. Otherwise, it's not actually created. Okay. So this is how you create an operator ID in Pega. Now, what exactly you're storing in that? Usernames, passwords, some personal information, and some professional information about the user you're storing in the operator ID. Now, the next thing is, see, when I register into IRCTC, I'm giving all my details, right? My basic information, my personal information, my address details. Where is all this getting stored? Can anyone tell me, is it stored by any chance in my browser or in my,
Database.
database? Anybody
DB.
else?
Database.
Any other answers?
Database.
All database? Sure.
Yes.
Hmm? Anybody?
PR
Yes.
Any
underscore
other
operator.
answers? Oh, please don't tell anything which I haven't taught you yet.
Database.
Okay, perfect. Exactly right. So, whenever you register into any application, all your data is actually stored in the database. Now, for those of you who are from a non technical background and who don't know what is a database, please understand that database means it is an application, or you can say it is a software, or you can say it is a tool where we actually store the data. Okay, so for storing data, the only thing that we use in real time is database. Any project, okay, you have built your project on Java, you have built it on .NET, you have built it on Python, PHP, Pega, HTML, JavaScript. You can build your project using any of these things, but everybody has to use database only to store the data. No choice. Let your project be on Pega, let your project be on Java, let your project be on Python, whatever you are using. End of the day, if I want to store the data, only option I have is database. I have to use database. So similarly in Pega, if I have to store my user details, username and password, their personal information, professional information, the only option I have is I have to store it in a database. So not only that one, guys, if you look at this, how do I get all this information? Like when I type the from and to, how am I getting all this from the database? How am I getting this list of locations? The from location and to location, it's all from the database. Okay. Yeah, how am I getting the list of flights from the database? How am I getting my pay details, the list of pays from the database? If I enter IFSC code, the list of banks from the database. So basically, every website will store data in the database and fetch it and display it on your screens. So database is a tool or a software or an application where we store data. Okay, we just draw tables. Inside the tables, we'll put the data and we will use it. I'll show you database. Okay, which is connected to Pega now. Now, where is this data getting stored in Pega? It's a very important interview question. In which table operator IDs are stored in Pega? So in the Pega, there's a table called as PR underscore operators. It's a default built-in table of Pega. You are working in a different company, I am working in a different company. You are working in some other project, I am working in some other project, but both of us are on Pega. Then your operator IDs are stored in PR underscore operator table. My operator IDs are also going to be stored in PR underscore operators table only. but your database is different, my database is different. Okay, in your company you have your own database where you're storing all your operators in a table called as pr underscore operators. In my company I have my own database where I have a table called as pr underscore operators, and my operator id is getting stored in that. But pr underscore operators is the default table given by PEGA, where everybody is expected to store their operators. You shouldn't store it in any other place. This is the only place it gets stored by default. PR underscore operators is a table where the operators information is stored. Okay. Now let me take you to the, yeah, somebody has a question.
Nikhila, yeah,
Yes.
this PR underscore operators ID means this one is a separate database of Pega, or is there any backend databases is
There is a
attached to the
database.
Pega?
This is a table. This is not
Okay.
database. This is a table in that.
So what is the backend database?
Nikhila,
I'm going to show you now. Yes, please.
Nikhila has small doubt.
Hmm. Sure.
Hello, am I audible?
You are audible.
Yeah, yeah. So PR operator ID is a table name, right? Which
Right.
stores in the database all
Exactly.
the operational details.
Hmm.
So each company has their own database, right?
Yes, exactly.
So how this
So
common PR
when you
operator ID?
purchase Pega, okay, they are going to give you all this default tables and the content in that they will give you. So Pega is also a product, right? So they have a lot of built-in tables, not just only PR underscore operators. So when you
Yes,
install
yes.
this Pega software, they will give you all these things. So you have to install them, in real time. If you say, I want to use Oracle, somebody wants to use SQL Server, somebody wants to use DB2. So depending upon their choice, they will use the database. Now Pega will give you all the
Yes.
scripts and everything which are required to be executed, and these tables will be created
Ach,
in that
oh,
accordingly.
okay, okay. Thank you, Nikhila.
Okay.
One more question,
Sure,
Nikhila.
please.
So this in this table PR operators only the usernames and login
Yes,
credentials
only
will get stored.
operator ID screen, whatever you are filling, only that will be stored. What did you fill here,
Okay, not all the
here,
operations.
here, and here? Only these four tabs, whatever data you filled, only that will be stored, nothing else.
Okay, okay,
So basically, it's like registration form details. Whatever you filled in the registration form, you can think.
okay.
Hello,
Yes,
hello.
yes, you are audible.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question, Nikhila. I think
Sure.
once giving the any application, I enter the organization. For example, a new project is in a company. Enter the organization, giving our team members or anyone is giving the access in that application also. After that, open that application, giving the access is permission or everything,
Mhm,
and all the fill the details inside of thing
mhm,
operator once everything is completed the details, and once
mhm,
click on the save button is go to every operator id information. Once I enter the new operator
mm.
id is every information move to comes on the database tables.
So
That is
only
also
when you
name is
click
state.
on the save button, the data will go to the database. It can be
Yeah, data
updating
will
an existing operator ID. It can be creating a new operator ID. Whatever it is, only when you click on the save, the changes will be pushed to the database.
But I think my question is why I should not. I think it's directly from the database. End of the day is once for example, I also one project. You are also one project. Okay. I think you are already created the one operator ID. I'm also one operator ID created. End of the day is everything is comes to database the table. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
All the details.
mm-hmm.
Once that is end of the day, once create to the database, I think is directly not create to the, I think directly create to the database or not once, and everything information giving the database also. Why I should not create that directly from database or once
I will
one.
talk about
Why
it.
code to code?
That is my next thing, which I'll be covering. Okay.
Okay,
So in the next
okay,
slide, it
sure,
is covered. So let me complete this. Okay.
sure,
Now,
sure.
please
Yeah,
take a pause, guys. I'll answer this question. Now, this first thing is like what kind of databases are available in the market. Okay. For those of you who are new to IT industry, So just like you have different tools to develop a project. Like I can use Pega to develop a project, I can use .NET to develop a project, I can use Java to develop a project, I can use Python to develop a project, right? Similarly, in the market, lot of databases are available. I can use Oracle, I can use DB2, I can use SQL Server, I can use PG SQL. Like this, different type of databases are available. Now depending upon the company and whatever license they have. See, if my company has taken license for Oracle, I have to use Oracle and I have no other choice. Okay, throughout the company, everybody will use Oracle. If my company has taken license for PG SQL, I have to use PG SQL. So depending upon the company, your database will depend. Now, whatever is your database, everybody will have this table PR underscore operators because this is a Pega's built-in table. It will be there for sure. Now this is your POC, right? I don't have a choice to connect to whatever I want to. Okay. So here, if how you can go to the database, and the database here used is PG SQL. Post GRE SQL is the default database that you get when you install Pega. Okay. But in real time, it can be any database depending upon the company's choice, it will be there. But in personal edition, by default, you get PG SQL database. Now, how can I
But
go to this?
your
Let
but
me
your
complete.
own database that
No, this
your
is
own
not.
database, your company created that database in the name PGSQL, but our
No,
company
this
is
is
also
not
different
Hello,
my
name.
Nikhil.
company. Guys, let me complete. Please pause. This is not my
Okay,
database, man. This is a database is a software or an application which you have to buy, take license from them. Okay. So when you
okay,
install
okay,
Pega software, by default, Pega has given me PG SQL. Okay, I have told you that architecture that day, right? When you install Pega, by default you will get JDK, you will get Tomcat server, you will get PG SQL database, you will get Pega. So in the Pega installation file, this is automatically given and you got it. Now in real time, people will replace this with any database they wish to use. Okay, so this is not my
yeah, okay,
company owned, this is not Pega owned. Guys, for your
yeah,
information,
yeah,
PG SQL is not a database by Pega. It's just by a different company. Okay. PG SQL and Pega are completely different. Okay. It's just a database. Pega is using this database to store the data. In real time, instead of this, I can use any other database which my company prefers to use. Okay.
okay,
Yes,
yeah.
somebody has a question. Okay, please pause your questions. Let me complete this. Now, how do I navigate to the database in my personal edition? This navigation is specific to your personal edition, not in real time. Now, in your personal edition, maybe you have installed your software in C drive. Go to C drive. There's a folder PRPC personal edition. There's a folder PG SQL. There's a folder PG admin 4. Then a folder bin. This is the navigation. Okay. Now, inside bin, there is an elephant face icon like this PG admin 4. Click on this. Database will open. Okay. Some of you may face issues, the database may not open and it may throw an error. Okay, if it is throwing an error, you have to Google pgadmin4, download and install. Okay, and please note that only if Pega is up and running, your database will connect and this screen will come. If your Pega is shut down, okay, and you opened this pgadmin4 and you're saying, Nikhila, it is not connecting, do I need to download? No, please first of all turn on Pega. Okay, the connection has to be established with Pega only if you click on the startup button. So turn on Pega, then launch this PG admin 4 and then it will connect. Now, when you connect to the database for the very first time, it will ask you the master password. You can give any password of your choice, but remember that later. If you forget it, I can't recover it. Okay. So please enter the master password. I gave some master password. Hope I remember it. Let me try. Okay, I forgot. Wonderful. Let me try again. So whatever you want, you can give as a master password. Okay. Now come to the dashboard. Okay. Dashboard. Okay. Don't tell Nikhila I'm not finding this icon. I said come to dashboard and say add new server. Okay. Now, this is like connecting to the database, just giving a username and password to connect to the database to look at the built-in tables of Pega. Now, database name, this is just like a pet name. You can give any name of your choice. So Pega, DB, whatever you want, you give. This is under General tab. Okay, or General tab, only name. Now go to the connection details, host name. Look at this. It's all lowercase letters, localhost, no spaces. Exactly the same way you have to give. Password, exactly as username. Copy and paste. Password is same as your username. Save password. Now, how do I know the password? In the Pega configuration files, this password will be shared to us. Okay, that's how I know it. Click on the save button. Okay, see, I already connected, so twice it is coming. Okay, I will remove one of them just to avoid confusion. See, now my database is coming. Okay, see, I went to schemas. I went to data schema. In that you can see lot of tables are there. Okay, please don't compare the count. Okay, I already created lot of tables, so my count and your count will be different. Now here, where is this PR underscore operators table? Kindly come down. PR underscore operators, right? Just scroll down till you find O. It is here. Okay, so right click and say view data. You can see this is the table. Okay, PR underscore operators is a table where all the data of operators is maintained here. As many operators you create, that many operators data will be maintained here. So you can look at this. When was the last save done? Okay, when was it created? Who created this operator ID? His name, his operator ID. Okay, now you can see that something like so Pega maintains some other information like this. Who updated it, by whom it was updated, by whom it was created, what is his access group. Okay, some other things, you will get to know all these things later. The business calendar, his time zone, his email address. Okay, like this, if you put any image, his image, when did he last log in into the application. You can even see the last logins. Okay, so like this, whatever you filled there, your organization name, your division name, your designation, your reports to manager. Okay, like this, everything actually. The most important thing is PY user identifier, nothing but your actual email ID to log in. Okay, so like this, you'll find everything that you gave on that screen, everything is stored here. So this is database, and this is how data is stored in the database. Go to any project. Let's say, for example, you went to this IRCTC, list of trains will come, right? So where is list of trains stored? In the database, they will store like this. List of trains, the timings, number of seats available, they'll store in the database. Or go to an application like, Paytm. So where is this information stored? Like, for example, why are my plans not coming? Hmm. So how are these plans coming? They are all stored in the database, fetched and displayed here. Okay, so database is basically for storing the data to fetch and display. So that's how this is also stored and later used. Okay, in the database, they store all these things in the form of tables like this. So PR underscore operator is the most important table, and PG SQL is the default database which we got where all the data is getting stored. Any questions so far?
Nikhila, I
Mhm.
have a question.
Yes, please.
So, what is the
Yeah.
difference between PY, PZ, and PR?
Okay, so PX, PY, PZ, this prefixes I'm going to cover in the next topic, that is properties. Okay, this will
Okay,
be answered.
okay, okay, thanks.
Is anybody has any other
Nikhila?
question?
Hi, Nikhila. Yeah. Other organization members also, I mean, other organization
Hey, there's an echo. Did you
operator
connect from
ID
two
also.
systems? Did you connect from two systems? Please mute in one system or reduce the sound of one system. It's echoing actually. Maybe you connected from mobile and laptop. The voice is echoing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we can see other organization operator ID in this
Why you will see
PRR
no?
operators.
See, even
No, within the organization only, right?
other organization you're saying or other project you're saying?
Other organization.
Other organization means other company, right? Why will you say other company to operate
Yeah,
IDs?
yeah. That's a
See,
smart
your
idea.
data, let's say, see,
Within our organization only, right?
within the same
Within
organization
our
also you will not
project.
see. Even then you will not see. See, it is like,
Oh,
let's say you and I are working for HSBC. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, you belong to project X, I belong to project Y. Now, project Y
yeah.
will have its own database connection. It will have its own DB
Okay,
tables. Project X will also, I mean,
okay.
like Y will also have its own database connection, own tables. So you will see only your tables
Yeah,
and I will see only my tables. You will also have PR
yeah.
underscore operators. I will also have PR underscore operators. But my table contains X project operators. Your table contains Y project operators.
Mm,
So every project will
yeah,
have its own database. So these are all built-in
yeah,
tables of Pega, which might be common, but data will not be same for both of us.
yeah.
Table is same,
Thank you.
data will
Nikhila,
not be same. Yes, please.
Yeah,
Nikhila,
thank you.
in case if we are using a Oracle database, okay,
Hmm.
so when we install Pega, then we need to go with the connection with Oracle. Then in
Hmm.
that case, these the tables which are given by
No, as I
Pega
told you,
itself.
right, when they will give us the scripts, so you can run the scripts and get all the tables created.
Okay, so all those tables is created in Oracle.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Nikhila.
Hello.
Yeah, Soumya here.
Hmm.
I have one question. Like, instead of navigating to that particular table, PR underscore operators,
Hmm.
can't we directly pass the query and give the table name
No,
directly?
100% yes, you can do that. See, I have a combination of people in the session. So they don't know what is a database also, right? So how can I write a script and tell them? So that is the reason when I'm navigating to the table. Why can't you write a script? 100% you can write a script and pull the data.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Like, where we can find that query
Here,
editor?
here, here tools, query tool.
Okay, thanks, Nikhila.
Okay. Now just pause your questions. Just I'll give a quick recap. So in order to access any project,
Nikhila.
1 minute, let me please recap, then we can come back. In order to access any
Okay.
application, okay, any project, the first thing that we need to do is register yourself into the application. So in Pega, registering yourself means it's all about creating an operator ID. So first you have to create an operator ID where you are going to fill all the information about the user, and you will enter a password and you save it. Now when you save it, the data is all going to be stored in a table called as PR underscore operators. So next time the user can log in using this username and password, he can log in into the application. And PR underscore operators is a default table given by Pega themselves where all the operators information will be stored. Now, this is PG SQL database or PG admin 4 database, which is used in the personal edition. In real time, depending upon the company, people can use any database of their choice. It can be Oracle, it can be SQL Server, it can be anything, whichever their company prefers to. But the table will remain the same. Project to project, they will have their own database and they will have their own tables. So these tables and these databases are not shared across projects, although we belong to the same company. Because data security we need, right? What if X project is hacked? If I and they are using same database, even Y project data will be gone. So generally, we don't prefer to share the databases. Okay. Not only security, performance, data load, many things will come into the picture. So we don't share the databases generally. Yes, please go ahead with your questions. If somebody has a question and I
Hello,
pause.
Nikhila.
Hello, yes, please.
Do we need to create operator ID in our personal edition also, or can we go ahead with administrator
No,
dot
we
pega
are going to
Append?
create a new operator IDs for our project because administrated.pega.com has access only to the Pega's code. Now you are going to build your
Okay.
own new fresh project, right? So for the fresh project, we need a fresh operator ID.
Okay. Thank you, Nikhila.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Say, for example, if I have two applications, right, which I want to build using Pega.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, one for customer support management, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, for example, I want to do for in managing the inventory in the factory, right? For the same organization.
Okay.
Now, so so basically these two will be different applications, right? So
Mhm.
can I host the two different applications using the same Pega installation,
Yes, yes,
or it
you
will need
can.
different
You
Pega?
can. No, not required. See, again, it depends. In a company, if you have 20 projects, you can have
Mhm,
20 separate installations of Pega on 20 servers, and you can do.
mhm.
Or if you think, this is a pretty small project, not much user base, you can just install it on the existing server where already another project is hosted. So you can share
Okay,
it.
and
There's nothing like that you shouldn't share.
okay, so and in that case, if I want to keep their database separate, so I'm assuming that when you
You
configure the
can.
application, that time you will be able to specify which database should be
No, no,
used
not
by
when you
which.
configure the application. Even after creating the application, whenever you want, you can establish your DB connections. You can connect to a new database or you can connect to an existing database. You can always do that. So that all you will be learning when we start data classes topic.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Nikhila. I have a
Mhm.
question.
Sure, please.
So, like, if there are two applications on the same server and we have not specified a specific DB per application, so how will the table segregate in that case? Like, will like operators and all, will they still be stored in PR operators, or there is a, you know,
So if you are sharing,
how?
see, database is different, server is different, okay? Tomcat server,
Mm-hmm,
you can have 10 applications, but these 10
mm-hmm.
applications can connect to different databases. It is not necessary they should share the database. You can connect to
Okay,
whatever database you want. Database connections and all you will learn in the later sessions.
okay.
Okay, now please pause your questions. Guys, just one small request, do not ask questions on the topics which are not yet completed because it may lead confusion to the people who are very new to Pega or who are very new to the industry. Now let's move ahead. Now there are some interview questions on this topic. Those questions are like, how can you create bulk operators in Pega? So now you know how to create an operator ID, right? You have to just go to Records Explorer Organization Operator ID and click on New and create. Wait,
Nikhila, I have
wait.
one
One,
query. Can I ask?
just no, no, please. When I am saying something, please don't
Okay.
interrupt me. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
sure.
Mm.
I'll give you time again to ask questions. Now you can create an operator ID from here, okay, or do a save as of an existing operator ID. So you know how to create operator IDs. Now some of the interview questions on operator ID topic is how to create bulk operator IDs in Pega. Let's say for example, I want to create like 100 or 1000 operator IDs in Pega. What are the various ways to create it? Okay, so you can't create them manually, right? It is difficult to create manually like 100 or 1000 operators. So one thing is like it is difficult, time taking. Second thing is like there are chances you make some mistakes. So how can you automate this? Now some people think that I can go to the database and I can simply add records here, right? So why can't we simply insert a record here? Just go here and say, mm, not script, actually there should be an option to edit data. Query tool, can't I insert from here? No. Okay, so you can actually write down something to insert data. Okay, so you can just give all your values and run this. The data will insert it into operators table. Okay, so by adding new records in the operator table, people might think that operator IDs will be created. So 1000 operators I can easily create by inserting 1000 records into PR underscore operators table. So if you're thinking like that, then it is completely wrong. By inserting new records in PR underscore operators table, you cannot create an operator ID in Pega. Okay, never do that mistake. It is not going to create an operator ID in Pega. Why is that so? If you create an operator ID and click on save button, it is going to database. But if you insert data in the database, it is not going to come to Pega. It is not going to work. Yes, it is not going to work. Vice versa is not going to work for PR underscore operators table. I'm not talking about any other tables. I'm specifically speaking about only PR underscore operators table. Okay, for other tables, vice versa is possible. Only for PR underscore operators table, inserting a record here is not going to create an operator ID here. Why? Why is it not going to work? Let's look at the structure of the database. Look at this database table. You have columns like this and the data like this. You're able to read the data, right? This is all numbers, readable format, all text, you're able to read the data. Now let's keep moving like this. Look at all the columns, all readable data, right? So you can insert the data, all readable, right? Now keep moving. Do you see this? There's a column called as PZPV stream and the data is not readable. It says binary data, binary data, binary data. What is mean by binary data? Means all the data is converted into blob and stored here. Now, what do you mean by blob? Blob means, I hope you all know what is integer. Integer means numbers, right? 0 to 9 numbers. Now, you know what is a character. Character means alphabets A to Z, right? Or even special characters also, like dollar, all this will come. Now, what is this blob? Blob means binary large object. Okay. Now, what is this binary large object? You know numbers, you know alphabets. What is this binary large object? Binary large object means basically we use this to store huge data. Or let's say, for example, I want to store an image in the database. I want to store a video in the database. I want to store an audio in the database. I want to store a file in the database. How can I store them? Now, you may have a question, Nikhila. First of all, why do I want to store images, audios, videos in the database? See, take the example of Amazon. Okay. When I search for a product, how is this image coming along with the content? How is this image coming along with the content? And look at this. This is the video, right? This is the video. How is this video coming? Okay. And if you play it, even the audio will come. How is it audio coming? They are storing it in the database. They are fetching it and displaying it. So how can I store it in the database? Can you store audios and videos directly in the database? No, 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 no. It is not possible. So you have to convert them into blob and store it. Okay. Now you might have a question, Nikhila, in the operator ID, where do I have audio, video, and files? Why are we using blob here? See, the basic purpose of a blob is to store a huge content. We use it. So in the operator ID, you're filling a lot of things, right? Here a lot, here a lot, here a lot, and here a lot. So whatever you fill in all these four tabs, entire information of all these four tabs, I'm storing in a single cell here under PZPV stream. So this single cell contains all the four tabs data of one operator. This single cell contains all the four tabs data of another operator. So Pega is using a blob column in its table to store this huge data. In this data, there can be image, there may not be an image. But whatever is here, the whole thing we are storing it in blob. Okay. Now, if I try to insert a new operator ID in the table, can you insert data into blob? No. Blob is like, random alphabets, numbers combination. You will see A, Z, X, Y, B, C, something random rubbish you will find. That's how they store it. They convert it and they store it. Okay, so you can't insert data into a blob. As you can't insert into it, it is not possible for us to look at the data here. So we can't insert data into this, so no operators will be visible here. So don't attempt to add a record into the PR underscore tables, PR underscore operator table and expect the operator ID here. No, that is not possible. Okay, if you want to create an operator ID, you have to do it from the Dev Studio or App Studio, and this way only you have to create. Inserting record in the database and expecting an operator ID to be created is not going to work because we have a blob column where you cannot insert the data. Okay. Is this clear? Somebody asked a question on this. Is it clarified now? Any
So
So that
question?
hello,
means
Nikhila.
we cannot create a bulk user IDs, right? In the Pega?
What user IDs?
I mean, bulk user IDs. I mean,
Oh, no, no,
bulk
no,
users
no.
every time we cannot create.
We can. I'm going to give you the answer to that. So we can create.
Okay, okay,
How
okay.
to create? I'll tell you. I'm
Okay,
telling
okay.
you this approach is not correct. Expecting to create in the
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
database
got it.
in a bulk and expecting it to be reflect in your Dev Studio is wrong. That way it is not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So the person who asked this
Hello,
question, I hope it is clarified. Yes, please go ahead.
hello, Nikhila.
Yes, brother.
Why the blob column is required, Nikhila? Because we have all other columns, right? Why that is required here?
Answer is here. We store images, videos, audios. In this current, you have image, right? For that reason. Another thing is like, uh, like you are storing 4 pages of information, right? So 4 pages of information, if you see this, I have for everything I need a column in the table, right? For title, I need a column. First name, I need a column. Last name, I need a column. Full name, I need a column. So how many columns you will create in the table? So even when you fetch the data from DB, even the performance will be impacted. So instead of creating multiple columns, what we can do is combine everything, put it into like a small binary blob, and keep it under one single column. That's it. I don't need multiple columns to store the data. All the data I can store in one single column. Even if all of these columns are not there, and if I just have blob column, my data will be stored. None of these columns are required. Just blob is enough to store the data. I don't need a column for locale. I don't need column for telephone. No, not required. See, even these are empty. Okay, even they are not required also. Just if you put the data in PZ PV stream, this blob, it is enough. Okay, so blob is just to compress the data and store in one single cell. And the benefit of blob is first thing is like, you can store images, videos, audio files, and all them. Second thing is like, you can compress the data and store. What is the benefit if you compress the data? Space saving. See, I have a folder. Okay, let's say it is taking some, how much size? 6.13 MB. Okay, now you compress it. Oh, maybe it is in use, so it is throwing an. No, you compress it. See, like this, it's a zip file. So obviously the size will come down, right? When you try to send some documents in Google, okay, Gmail, it is telling it cannot be more than 2 MB. What do? You compress it and you attach. So compressing means just reducing the size of the content. So compressing will save data, save space for us in the DB. So we compress. Next thing is like security. Let's say, for example, I'm storing password. Of course, you're storing password, right? Now, do you have a column for password? Look at this. Is there anywhere a column to store your password? There's a column for first name, last name, locale, XYZ. Everything has a column. But password doesn't have a column. Do you see? Why? Password is secure, right? How can I make it visible to everyone? Okay. Similarly, let's say, for example, I'm storing a table where I'm storing your package details, current CTC, salary information. Can you make it visible like this? Then the developer will go and browse everybody's salary. Okay, what is my manager's salary? What is my team lead salary? What is my fresher junior salary? Everybody's salary they will see, right? So generally we store some secure data which you don't want anyone to see. Now let's say you're storing a social security number, Aadhaar card, PAN card. Can you make it visible? No. So even for those security reasons we use blob. So if you keep such data in the blob, they're hidden. Nobody can see it. Okay, so like this for various reasons we use blob nest, not just only for storing images, audios, videos, but for compressing data and also for security reasons we use blob so that the data is hidden. Anybody has any questions so far?
Yeah, yes, Neela. And how
If
can we?
under any circumstances, if we want to see that hidden data, if
You
any
can fetch,
requirement,
you
how?
can fetch it into Pega and you can see it. There is a way which I'll be teaching you when we come to activities topic.
Okay.
Yes, please,
Nikhila,
somebody. Mhm.
we have a
Yeah,
first name
Nikhila.
column and last name column and all those things, right? So can I assume like we can, I mean, we can have the data under the first name, last name columns as well
Mhm.
as in the blob column
Yes,
also, if I'm not wrong.
100%, guys. See, this entire four tabs of information is stored in blob. Okay, and the same replica is actually stored in this visible columns. Okay, so even if you delete these columns, my data is not lost because it is stored in PZPV stream. But if I delete blob, then my data is lost because blog has some additional information like passwords, XYZ stuff is there. Okay, so blob is important than these exposed columns. Yes, next question. Somebody was asking.
Yeah, hello.
Nikhila, you said in PRZ operators we can store username and passwords, right?
Mhm. Yes,
And what about this images, audio files? We will also store these also in PRZ operators.
PR underscore operators is the table. In blob column, this
Yeah.
binary data column, we store this images, audio files, videos, or whole of data, like whole data of four screens. All the four screens data is just stored in a single cell here. Okay.
Nikhila, my
Okay.
question, my question is also, I think once one operator ID will be created on Dev Studio, but it is not possible directly from database. It's not created the thousand of. It is not
Yes.
possible
Yes.
inside. Yeah, directly from database.
Right.
Once if I think is once bulk operator ID will be total 100 of bulk operator IDs will be created inside in zip folder is I think upload the in zip file only for Dev Studio. After that is moving comes from the
We
database every
don't
one,
upload
right?
in zip file or something. There is nothing like zip file thing. Okay, so how to
But
create thousand?
how can I
I'm going to
how
tell you
can
how
I
to create bulk operators. I'm going to tell you.
okay? But it is choose file in the upload the images or
Nikhila,
anything in the Dev Studio, no?
No,
Nikhila.
how to create bulk operators. I will cover it in the next few minutes. Okay, yes,
Okay,
please,
okay.
please, the next question, please.
Nikhila, as you told, like, the four tabs data will be stored in the single cell,
Right,
right?
right.
So, is there any, for example, in this a single cell, in the blob column, we do upload the videos and videos, right?
If you want, you can upload, but in operator ID, generally you don't have videos.
Yes.
But the use of
Yeah.
blob is to
Is,
upload for photos, videos, audios. We can put in the blob along with the text.
yeah. Is there any limit to?
Yes, yes.
Is
Blob
there any
has a
limit to
limit,
upload the
only
data?
2 MB or 4 MB. Sorry, 2 GB data or 4 GB data you can store. There is a limit. If you cross that limit, we go
Okay.
for CLOB. Okay, so actually, I posted a challenging task in my channel. We ended up in a scenario in my real time project where my blob size has crossed. So we upgraded
Okay.
to CLOB. So that generally many people don't know because,
Club.
yeah, CLOB. So
Okay.
that's also a data type. So many people doesn't know about that. So I actually posted a video. If you are a technical person already, you can just go and watch that video.
Okay.
Okay, guys, please pause your questions. I just want to show you how exactly Blob is working. Okay. Hmm. So now let's say, for example, this is the operator ID I created. Okay. This is PR underscore operators table. Now they are storing my data like this in the table. This is my table. Okay. Password, I'm not supposed to show it, so I will not show here. Time zone IST. Now here comes the column PZ PV stream. It's a column name. Okay, you can give any name. In Pega, this is the name PZ PV stream, and this is a blob data type. Now in blob, what Pega will do is all this information, entire record plus password. Let's say we also have something like, maybe they are also storing, let's say, salary. They are also storing salary. Let's assume. So password is secure, or let instead of salary we'll put SSN. Okay, or Aadhaar we will put. Okay, Aadhaar or SSN, whatever it is. Okay. So password is secure, Aadhaar is secure. So I'm not supposed to store them in the exposed columns. Okay, where data is visible, I'm not supposed to. Now, what will you store in blob? In blob, you're going to store Nikhila. Okay. You will store the next thing. You will store the next thing. And you will also store password. Let's say my password is rules. And you will also store my Aadhaar. Let's say this is my Aadhaar. And you will also store my salary package. Okay, and so on. So blob is like, combination of the entire row of data plus, whichever data you want to hide, you can hide inside the blob. Password I want to hide, I have kept it here. Aadhaar I want to hide, I kept it here. Salary I want to hide, I have kept it here. Image, whatever photo I have, my photo, I'll kept it here. So this whole data will be present in the blob. Just because first name is already there, it is not like it will not be stored here. No, 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 no. Blob stores everything. Entire thing will be there in the blob. Okay, like this blob stores. But just it will be in a non-readable format. Here it is readable, but it's just in a non-readable format. That is the reason you can't read the data. Did you understand how blob is storing the data? Anybody has any questions?
Nikhil, I have a question.
Yes,
So,
please.
like in real time, is it happening out of the box, or do we have
No,
to
it is out of the
specify?
box. Nothing. It is just ODB.
Okay,
Pega takes care of it. Inserting data
okay, so
into
we
the
can't
blob,
specify.
fetching data from the blob in a readable format, both are taken care by
Mhm.
Pega.
Okay, okay.
Once after giving all the information in this data,
Mhm.
so do we have to run any
No, no,
sync
nothing, nothing.
job?
Run. Pega takes
So
care of everything.
immediately it will
Yes,
display.
yes. The minute you click on the save button, it will go and store it in the blob. The minute you open it, it will extract the data and it will keep and it will show you in a readable format. So way to see and all, I don't want to show you now and take to a different topic. So as we keep moving,
Okay,
you will learn all that. Okay.
okay.
Now please,
Nikhil,
please,
one quick
yes,
question.
yes, please.
Oh, just can we query a blob and get specific columns out of
No,
it?
you can't. But there are some functions
Okay.
actually, not in all the databases, but in few
Mm-hmm.
databases you have some functions to query it, and which is a very, very lengthy process and difficult thing. But in certain databases,
Okay.
we have that functions to pull the data, to query and pull.
Okay.
Okay, you can explore, but
Thank
generally we don't do that. Okay.
you. Okay.
Now,
Thank
please
you.
pause your questions. Thank you. Let please pause your questions, guys. Now, what is the answer to this? How to create bulk operators if you can't create it from the database? There are two ways to create. One, you use this Pega's OOTB rule. There is a rule in Pega. Okay. I mean, like there's a piece of code available in Pega which can create you operators, a code. Okay, piece of code. Now, code doesn't mean like a code in Java and all. So there is a built-in thing you can say create operator, I think, not operators. So this is the one. Okay. There is a piece of code or a functionality that Pega has given. Create operator. So if I want to create bulk operators, what I can do is I can just run this. Okay. Now it will ask you some information. What's the organization name, division name, unit name, what is the username, what is the password, what is the access group, and that's it. Click on run, operator ID will be created. That's it. So this is one way to create. Now let's say for example I want to create 1,000 operators. Again, still this is difficult, right? 1,000 times you have to click on the run button, right? So another easy solution to this one is take a Excel file
or take a CSV file, or take a notepad. Write down all the operator IDs, their usernames, their passwords, their access groups. You have some mandatory fields, right? When you create an operator, there are some mandatory fields. The same thing you saw when you run this, these mandatory fields. So in order to create an operator, you need these things. So put all these things in an Excel or in a CSV or in a notepad and consume the file in the Pega application. How do you consume files in Pega application? I'll be teaching you as a part of the training. But how to create bulk operators? One, you use Pega's OOTB activity, Pega's built-in activity create operator, run it, pass the data and create. Other way is keep all the data in a file and consume the file using the code. How to consume the file and read the data using the code and create operators? You will learn file listener topic. Okay, maybe after 2 months you will learn that. Then you will know how to read data from a file and use the data and create operators and all that you will learn then. So as of now, just learn the answer theoretically. To create bulk operators, the solution is use a file, consume the file and create it, or use the OOTB activity PR underscore operate create create operator OOTB and guys, please go on mute, there's an echo somebody. Okay, either of the ways you can create it. So how to create bulk operators in Pega? By consuming a file, you can create using file listener topic, or by using this OOTV activity create operator you can do. Now can we create new operators by
Nikhila,
oh please
how
guys
you reach
can
to OOTB? Can you explain show that
OOTV means
again?
out of the box. So what is your question?
Uh, in the screen, how you reach that screen to create it OTB launch portal?
This one, this activity, this rule.
This rule, how you reach this?
I just searched here with this name.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, and that opens up. As you keep working, you will learn activities and also this will be at your fingertips. Okay. Now, the second thing is like, can we create operators by inserting new records in PR underscore table? 100% no. The reason is you can't insert data in the blob column. Okay, now if then comes another question. Let's say, for example, you don't have access to database. Okay, see, in real time, even you have to raise a ticket to get access to database. They will not give you access to database or application just like that. Okay, even to get access to database, again you have to go and ask your colleague, yeah, I need access to the database for application, please tell me the process. And they will tell you how to install the database, how to get access to the things and all. So ask them and do it. You should never ever install anything from Google. Okay, all the approved softwares of the company will be listed on the company's some XYZ website. Go check with your colleagues, install from there, raise a ticket to get access to it and get it. Okay, don't install anything from just Google. Okay, so you have to get access to it and you have to do it. Now the question is, let's say you don't have access to DB. Okay, and you don't have access like a admin to create an operator ID. How to create an operator ID if you don't have admin access and if you don't have access to DB? How can I create a new operator ID is the question. Anybody has
Can
an
I use
answer?
OOTB rule, which we use to
Ah,
create operator?
wonderful. Exactly right. I don't have access to create an operator ID. Let's say, when I'm creating an operator ID, it's throwing me an error. You are not an admin. I can't go to database because I don't have access to database. So how can I create an operator? Just by using this OOTB activity. Just run it, give the inputs. That's it. Rule will be created. Operator ID will be created. Okay. By using this OOTB thing, you can do it. Now,
Nikhila, I have a question.
please wait. Let me complete it. Then
Okay.
I'll open up for questions. Now, do we have any OOTB rules to create operators? Do we have anything, guys?
Yes, create operator.
Yes,
Exactly,
create
the one
operator.
create operator.
Yes.
Please remember this. Okay. Get you. Now, my operator ID exists, but still I'm unable to log in. Okay, despite of giving the correct username and password. So what could be the issue? So I'm giving the correct username and password, but still I'm unable to log in into the application. So what could be the issue?
Maybe deactivated.
Exactly right. So in the operator ID profile, wonderful answer. Under the security tab, you have this option, see disable operator. So if this is enabled, you can't log in into the application. So please make sure this is always removed. Okay. So you have to make sure that it is not disabled. If it is disabled, you can't log in. Then what you have to do, ask your colleague to open your operator ID and check if this is mentioned as disabled. They have to remove it and they have to save it. Only then you will be able to log in. Even after removing and saving it, not able to still log in, then please clear your browser cache and try. Even after clearing the browser cache, still not able to log in, then do a server restart. Shut down PRPC and restart it. Okay, then things will work. Now, how to create bulk operators using the file concept. Put all the data in the file and consume the file. So how to exactly do it practically, you will learn it after 2 months when we do file listener topic, you will learn this. Now, any questions so far?
Yes, Nikhila, I have a question. Now, since we have this OOTB rule, create operator,
Mm.
then everyone can create using that, right? Then why do we need an admin access or database access there?
Wonderful question. Does anyone has an answer to this? Anybody with prior experience?
Can you repeat the question, please?
We already have
See,
create operator activity, right, to create new operators. Then what is the importance of administrator? I said like only admins can create operators. Now because you can run the activity and create operator ID, no, how does it make sense to create only admins? Everybody can create, right?
You will you will only be able to search a rule and execute it once you have a certain privileges and you are already an operator in the Pega.
That is true. But let's say, for example, I am a developer, you are a team lead, you only have admin access to create. And I, being a developer, I can still run the activity and create operator, right? So she's asking, how
Yeah.
does it, then what is the
Not
use of
necessarily,
administrator? Everybody can create.
not necessarily everybody may have access to execute that particular activity.
Kind of, you are
Because
close.
since it's an operator ID access,
Mhm.
so even developer can have this access
Exactly.
because
So, kind of what you
Nikhila,
said. Yes, please.
we can say he will. Admin can give us a particular access, like access group and
as
particular
it's a
things.
general activity, so I think everybody has this access only
Mm.
to create
Um,
to run an
Mm.
operator ID.
Okay. But that's a very
Skills
good question.
and
Yes, please.
skills and work queue is not there in the activity when I saw.
What is not there in the activity?
Can you
Okay.
go to work
Okay.
tab?
See,
We
everything
are
is, dear, everything is not mandatory. See, here you have lot of stuff, right? You have local,
yeah.
time zone, you have skills, you have scheduled absence, lot of things are there. But when you create an operator ID, they only ask you the mandatory fields. Only the mandatory fields are being asked here. Even when you create an operator ID manually, if you just fill the mandatory fields, it is enough. No need to fill all these things, right? I just need full name,
Mm.
organization, division, unit, team. Even business calendar is not required. Just the password. That's it. These are the mandatory fields. If you just give them, it is enough. Same thing they are asking you here. Now, answer to this question is somebody was very close. Okay, so we restrict the
I can answer.
yes, please.
To store that information in
We can
database, you
say
need to.
admins can give access like to the access group, whereas in when we create like we don't have that option to particularly select the access group or something. Admins can give
Is
that.
it related to the level of access
Ah,
the
wonderful.
developer has?
Yes, exactly. It's related to the level of access. So you just learned about operator ID, right? So in the next few slides, I have everything about access groups, then application portals, then roles, then role to object, then privileges. So these three are going to restrict your access to the particular class, rules, and all. So we are going to restrict your access to these kind of stuff so you don't perform such kind of activities. So you will learn that only when you know roles, role to object, and privileges. So these three are going to help you in restricting access so that everybody cannot go and run this activity and create the things. Okay, so maybe in tomorrow's session you will learn about that. Okay, but we are going to restrict access to this activity. So that is what we are going to do. You can't run the activity. You can look at the activity, but you can't run it. We are going to restrict that for you. Okay.
How many level of accesses that we have in Pega, Nikhila?
We are going to learn. So you just started operator ID. So we are going to dive deep on that.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it about operator ID topic, guys. Anybody has any questions on operator ID concept?
Nikhila, I have a question.
Sure,
So
please.
suppose here in Pega PRPC we have default PG, PG admin for this one database. But in organizations, can employee know which database we are using? How to know that at least? Like,
Yeah, you can know it. When I teach you data classes topic, I will show you where do we establish the connection between Pega and database. So all that I will show you, then you will get to know.
okay, thank you.
Uh, Hi, Nikhila. I have one question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so for example, in the same project, I have two different applications. So if you want to store the data regarding the two applications in a single database, is it possible?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Sorry, I missed you.
Yeah,
Can you please repeat?
if my project is having two applications, so if I want to store two application related data in a single database,
Yes,
so
you
is it
can, you
possible?
can, you can do it.
Okay, even the different database also possible?
Yes, it is possible. But just that
Okay.
you have to take care of the load and all. If see, let's say for example, if you're putting Amazon and Alexa on the same database, Amazon itself has millions of users, Alexa also has millions of users. So there'll be performance issues or the server will crash and all. So depending upon the size of users, you can either share a database or you can use different databases. If it's a small project with hardly like 100 or 1,000 users, it's okay to share the database. If it is a big project with lot of users, better use separate databases, don't share it.
Okay, so if I want to maintain two separate databases, I have to connect to two servers, right?
I mean, like, see, again, Tomcat is different, your DB is different. Tomcat is a server, database, right? Database. So you can put two applications on same server but different database, or two applications on different servers and same database. Anyway, you can configure.
Okay. Thank you, Nikhil.
Hi,
Mhm.
Nikhila, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Suppose if we have two databases, and is there a possibility to merge the data from both the databases into
Okay,
Pega?
guys, we are going apart from the topic. Please ask anything related to operator IDs only. Okay, these kind of questions, can you please put me on WhatsApp? Okay, so this merging two
Yeah,
databases and
sure.
I'll just answer you there. Just don't want to, confuse others because we are moving away from the operators topic.
Yeah, okay.
So please ping me on WhatsApp. I'll answer this question. And guys, let's take a small break. I think it's like 1 hour 45 minutes we have done. Take a small break, okay, and we'll resume again with access groups. Take a break for 10 minutes. It is 8:45 now. 8:55 we will resume. Okay. So break till 8:55. I'll be on mute till 8:55. Okay, let's connect back in 10 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we are done with the break. Mm, Sure. So, guys, we have Subodh in the group. If you need any assistance in understanding about the database topics, he can help you out. So he voluntarily came in the group and he said like he want to help. So I'll just tag him in the WhatsApp group. You can reach out to him and he'll be there to assist you. Ashu Shukla, I didn't understand your question. What is that? It is similar to the personal edition installed on your own machine. No. Yes, it is. PostGRE
Actually, I
SQL
tried to
is
give the
not.
answer.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
Sorry, Nikhila, I have one query.
Mhm.
My doubt is also not clarified, but how to create bulk operation in Pega? Use a CSV file and keep
Yes, a
data
file
and init the
consumption.
consume.
Right. So one is file consumption. Second way is like you're by using that create operator or activity,
Yeah,
built-in rule of
okay,
Pega.
okay. Use
Okay.
Pega in the out of box activity. This create
Right.
operators, right?
Right.
Okay, okay, yeah. Sure. Okay,
So
thank you.
here I see some questions in the chat, guys. Uh, Anthony, in PR operators, we can store a lot, right? Just not only username and password. We have seen that it was storing everything that you gave in the operator ID record: first name, last name, email ID, time zone, whatnot. Everything it stores. And PG SQL is not only for personal edition, guys. Even in real time projects, we are using PostGRE SQL. It's an open source, so some people prefer to use it. So it is not just for the personal edition. I use it in my real time applications as well. Okay. And Mansa, I hope I answered your question. Ashu, I didn't understand your question, dear. With two different login credentials, I only see that piece of the question which I didn't understand.
No, no, no. Nikhila, just ignored it. I just tried
Okay.
to give the answer of
Oh,
the
okay.
above question, but there was some typo mistake also.
Okay, no problem. That's okay.
Nikhila, somebody was asking
Mhm.
two organizations how the database like PR
Mm.
tables, right? So I was just like telling the example like how on your machine your
Okay.
personal edition is installed and on my personal edition is installed, right?
Okay,
So
okay, okay, okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Good to see you all helping each other. That's a great sign. Okay, so guys, today I have planned session only for 2 hours because I just don't want to put too much of theory. So we are almost like top of the hour, but I'll just do a quick recap, introduce to the access group concept, and we'll wrap the session. Just a quick recap. In order to access any application in real time, you have to register and then log in. Registration is all about storing your data in the database and just having a username and a password to authenticate you whenever you log in. Similarly, in Pega, we don't have registration concept, but we have something called as operator ID creation. So here you just do the same way like you do a registration form. Fill all your information, give your username and password, and all this data gets into the database. The most important thing is the table name. PR underscore operators, a built-in table of Pega which stores the data. Now, uh, how do you log in? Using this username and the password, we log in into the application. And please remember that if I want to create bulk operators, I have to either use this OOTB rule create operator, or I have to consume a file and create it. This is one of the interview questions. And inserting record directly into the database is not going to create an operator ID here because we have blob column where you cannot insert the data. So this approach is a failure. It is not going to work. Okay. Now, next thing is, okay, fine. You're going to grant access to the application, right? Now, where did you mention the application name? It was only the registration form, right? You only gave your first name, last name, this team name, your passwords, and all such things. Okay. Now, where did you mention the application name? So, application name, we are not going to mention directly anywhere here. Instead, we are going to give something called as access group to a operator ID. So there is something called as access group. Okay. Now what exactly is access group? If you go here,
So
you can see no, let me complete. You can see something called as access group. Okay. Now, when I register into any application, I'm very much clear that, okay, I need access to Paytm, or I need access to HDFC, or I need access to IRCTC or GoIBIBO, whatever it is. But in real time, okay, when you want access to a particular project, there are multiple things that you need to consider. That is, I'm an operator, okay, I'm a user. Okay, now this person joined my team. How do I grant him access? First thing I need to know is which application he's tagged to. Is he tagged to project X or project Y or project Z? So you need to know the project name to which he is tagged. Project name is nothing but application name. First thing. Second thing is you want to know what is his role in the project. His role in the project. Is he a developer? Is he a tester? Is he a manager? Is he a business analyst? Is he a user? What exactly is this person in my project? Right? So you should know what role he is going to play in the project. Now, how does this role help us? Roles are very important because if he is a manager, I will give him App Studio. If he is a user, I'll give him user portal, some user related screen. If he is a developer, I'll give him Dev Studio. If he is a tester, I'll give some other portal. So depending upon his role in the project, the screen he will see upon logging in will change, right? If you see this, not this, let's take, 1 minute. Um, just a minute. Okay, let me pause the screen. Allow me a minute. I'll just open the site where we keep all the, this class videos and all. Allow me a minute. Okay. Sharing my screen. Now, if you look at this is the place where I'm putting all the class videos, material, and everything. All right. Now, you also log in into the same website. I also log in into the same website. But, I can see different options here: create website, domain integration. I can see, what all courses I hosted. I can, create some coupons. I can, see various things like, I can conduct a one-on-one session. I can chat with you guys. So I have different options here. Now, the same website, if you guys log in, you will see only your courses. This is the only thing that you're going to see, right? You only see this. You don't see anything else except this. So why is it different? It's both of us accessing the same project, but the screen for you versus for me is different, right? So how is this being managed? Based on the role, we map the screens. Okay. So similarly, even in Pega, whether it is Pega or Java or .NET, whatever you use, we need to know the role of the user, because based on the role of the user, you will decide what things he will see on the screen. Okay. So that is called as portal. Portal means web page. What web page the user will see. Will he see the developer web page? Will he see the user web page? Will he see the manager web page? Will he see, tester web page? What kind of screens, what kind of options the person sees on the screen? So creating an operator ID just doesn't mean that filling the basic information and creating a username and password. No. It also means that I have to know which project he want to need access, what is his role in that particular project, what all screens I have to map to him. So this is a complete operator ID creation. Now, where can I specify all these things? maybe you can specify it in the operator ID itself, right? In the operator ID itself, I can have an extra tab here. I can specify all these three. Perfect. Let's assume that Pega gave you an extra tab here where you can specify the project name, the role, and the portal and everything. Now, let's say 10 more people got recruited. Now, for all the 10 new people, again, I have to fill this information, right? Okay. Let's say again 20 more people got recruited. Again, I have to fill this information. So, this information is like, common. Wherever you go, let's say if it is developer, the project name remains the same, the portal remains the same. Okay. If he's a manager, project name remains the same, the portal remains the same. So, if the information is same, why do you want to type it every time? So, what we thought is let's make it reusable. So, we created a separate thing called as access group for this. Okay. So access group actually contains these three things. Access group in Pega contains project name, role, and portal. Okay, fine, but how is this adding benefit to the operator? So whenever I create an operator ID, I will mention the access group here. In the down arrow, you will get access groups. If you hit the down arrow, you will see the access groups. Just mention the access group. Now you see this crosshair icon? Click on this. In the access group, I'm mentioning which project this person can access. Down arrow, list of projects will come. Don't compare my list with your list, okay? Because I have built a lot of projects, everything will come here. So list of projects will come. Next, what all portals he can see. Portal means web pages. So he can see developer portal, he can see manager portal, he can see app studio, he can see admin studio, he can see production studio. So I gave him like 5 to 6 portals I gave him. And then his role in the project at the bottom, roles in the project. Okay. So now what is the benefit of having an access group? Now let's say 10 people joined the company. All 10 are administrators. So for all the 10 operators, I'll just map the access group. That's it. So all 10 people are tagged to same access group. You can see all these guys have same access group. Means all these guys will have same application, same portal, same roles. So what is an access group? Access group defines the access of a operator. So what exactly is present in that? We will tell which project this person can access, what all portals this person can see, what roles he is playing in the project. We mention it here. Okay. Now, what is the benefit of having an access group separately? For every operator, you can simply map this access group. Let's say, for example, a new operator joined my company. Okay. So I'm creating an operator ID for him. Like let's say this guy is administrator 1. Okay, administrator 1, administrator 2, I'll create like that. Now, what is this guy? Let's say this guy is this guy wants access to um, let's say he is a system architect. System architect means developers. So I gave him system architect, save your changes, done. Now another person joined the project. Save as. Okay, this guy is called as administrator 2, administrator 2, create. Now this guy is a system architect or a admin or a manager. What? Let's say this guy is a manager. Manager. Save. Now like this, it is simple for us. So if I get 10 managers, for all 10 managers, I'll give the same access group. Okay. If I get 10 developers, for all 10 developers, I'll give the same access group. If I get 20 administrators, for all 20 administrators, same access group I'll give. Now, what is the benefit? Suddenly, I got a requirement saying that, hey, for all the managers, please add a new portal called as, access manager portal you have to add for all the managers in the project. So if you simply add here all the managers who have this access group, okay, they will automatically get that new change. See, error is coming. Did you see? Because I'm doing as a manager, right? You're not authorized. Okay, different access group. Maybe that could be a reason. It's not allowing me. Anyways, see, suddenly, they said For all the system architects, okay, remove this admin studio. System architect should not have admin studio. So if I remove here all the people who have system architect access group, they can't see admin studio. So it's like giving bulk access. All the system architects having this, all the managers having this. So bulk access we are giving. So first of all, let's understand access group in detail. Then discussing about this bulk access. Let me explain you access group once again. Access group. It will tell you the access of an operator. What access? Which project this person can access? What web page or the portal that he can see when he logs in? What is his role in the project? This is what you mention in the access group. Only three things we mention in the access group: project name, portal, and his role in the project. Now, how are access groups and operator IDs connected? In the operator ID, we will mention the access group like this. So in the operator ID, you give the access group. Now, can we have multiple access groups to an operator ID? 100% yes. You can add as many access groups as you want like this to an operator ID. Why are we adding multiple access groups? I will tell you in the next few minutes. Okay. So first of all, operator ID creation means it is equally important to map an access group to an operator, because when you create an operator ID, you have to decide, right? Which application this person should access, what portal he should see, what role he is playing in the project is extremely important. So when you create an operator ID, you should also be careful what access group you are giving. Let's say, for example, a fresher joined the company, and by mistake you gave him, manager access group or admin access group, and he by mistake deleted something. So which is going to be a big issue, right? So you shouldn't give access groups by mistake. So be very careful when you're giving the access group, because access group defines what project, what level of access you have on the application. So you should be extremely careful while giving access groups to an operator IDs. And what does an access group contain? The project name, sorry, the project name, the portal, and the roles. So this is a very important interview question. Can we have multiple applications mapped in an access group? No. In an access group, only one project I can give. There is no plus icon to give multiple applications. Okay. So only one project I can give. Now,
Can you repeat the question again?
can we have multiple applications under a access group? Only one application I can give, multiple I cannot give. Can I have multiple portals? Yes. Can I have multiple roles? Yes, but not multiple applications. One access group grants you access to one application only. Okay. Now,
So one
A
operator
user
is
can have
across multiple applications.
yeah, I'll tell you. So let me complete this example. Let's say, for example, there is an operator called as Nikhila at google.com. Okay. Now, Nikhila wants access to Gmail application. Okay. Then Nikhila needs an access group of Gmail. So like this, Gmail colon developer, or Gmail colon user, or Gmail colon managers. Now let's say Nikhila wants access to YouTube. Then Nikhila should have an access group YouTube colon manager, YouTube colon developer, or YouTube colon something. Let's say Nikhila wants access to Google Docs, Google Docs colon something. So whichever application you want access, that access group should be mapped to your operator ID. Now, general standards. Okay, access group name should always be your project name colon the role. Okay, if you look at this, PRPC admins means PRPC is the project name. For administrators, this access group is created. PRPC database administrators, this access group is created. PRPC developers, system architect access group is created. PRPC UI managers, PRPC normal managers, PRPC users. So like this, based on the application, we will create access groups. Application name, colon, role. Look at this. My town is an application name. My town admins, my town developers, my town managers, my town users. The general format or standard is application name colon role. In some companies, they may not follow this standard, but generally, this is the standard you are supposed to follow. Okay. Now, access group name depends on your project, guys. Suppose I'm working for a healthcare industry. Access group name will be Apollo colon nurses, Apollo colon doctors, Apollo colon pharmacist, Apollo colon lab technician, Apollo colon developers. That is how my access group will be. Okay. Depending upon the industry you're working, access group will be different. Apollo colon reviewer, Apollo colon approver. So like this, we will have the access groups. Okay. Now, the next question is, how can I get access to multiple applications? If I want access to multiple applications, then map multiple access groups. This person wants access to PEGA application and DM application. So access groups. Look at this, two applications. He can access PEGA rules application. He can access DM sample application. Now let's say this person wants access to three applications. Claims. So this person can access three applications. Now let's say this person wants to get access to a different application called as My Town. Just give him this. He can access three applications. How can I access the second or third application? Now when I log in, this application is coming. Pega platform application is coming. How can I switch to the other application? Simple. Click here. Switch application. DM sample. You switch to DM sample. See. Similarly, take the I created administrator 1, administrator 2, right? I'm logging in with that. Okay. Now here I mapped three applications, right? So switch application, I can go to claims. I can go to DM sample. I can go to Pega platform. Okay. So one person can get multiple application access. Okay. Now this is very similar to how your Gmail works, right? See, with the same username and password, I can go to Gmail, I can go to YouTube, I can go to Google Drive, okay? I can go to any of these applications. Now, what does that mean? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 15 access groups mapped to my operator ID. So 15 applications I'm able to access. Am I clear, guys? Anybody has any questions on this?
Yeah, Nikhila, actually, what's the role of radio button which are there in front of access group?
Exactly. Anybody, can you tell me what is the use of that radio button that you have in front of the access group in
It,
operator ID?
Operator
it
can
is
work only on
so
one
that
application
access to that particular
by
application.
default.
By default, yeah.
Exactly. Default. Okay. So you have access to 2, 3, 4, 5 applications, right? Now, what is the one by default you want to give them? Like by default, when I enter the username and the password, which application should be by default? Now, right now, if you see, where is this gone? Oh, this is weird. Where is my access group? What is this? Something is wrong.
You are
What is
logged into administrator 1, I think.
Oh, yes, but how come my access group is missing?
Okay, access group.
This is funny. Okay, maybe some privilege issue or something. Anyways, Now, if you take this administrator 1 or administrator 2, see by default it is PEGA application. So whenever I log in, by default PEGA will come. Let's say by
Got
default
it.
I want DM sample. Okay, I switched it to DM sample. Administrator 2 at pega.com, right? Let's log off and re-log in. So see by
DM
default
sample.
DM sample is appearing. So it is just like default, by default, which one you prefer. Similarly, if you get inside, you have portals, right? Same purpose of radio button. So by default, if you want Dev Studio, give this one. By default, if you want Admin Studio, give this one. By default, if you want Case Manager, give this one. Now, after starting the practicals, many people will reach out to me, Nikhila, you are getting Dev Studio by default. I am getting Admin Studio. What to do? Please remember that you have to switch the radio button and save your changes. Then by default, this particular portal will come. Okay. No, I
Nikhila,
just,
I have a doubt.
yes, please.
Nikhila, again, these access groups are again created by admins only, right?
Yes, 100%
And
access groups, operators, and
manage.
I'm going to teach you some more things like roles, privileges, role to objects. All these will be created by admins. Okay, again, admin can be even your team lead or a manager as well in real time. Okay, not necessary an administration team. You can just, your team lead or somebody will have that admin role and they can do the things for you.
Nikhila,
Got it.
Yes, please.
one application can have, sorry, one user can have access to multiple applications, right?
Right.
For one application, what was that actually? One application can have only one access, right? Something.
One access group can have only one application. So see, one operator
Oh,
is having multiple access groups, but in one access group,
okay.
you can have only one application. Okay, this is an interview question, guys. People keep asking you, how can I give access to multiple projects to a user? Okay, the answer is simple.
Add
Take the
multiple
user,
access groups.
exactly, very good. Take the operator ID, give him multiple access groups. That's it. So before this question, they will ask you, can we give multiple applications in an access group? It's no. Single access group, multiple applications I can't give.
One
But in the
application.
operator
Yes.
ID, give him multiple access groups. That way you can grant him access to multiple applications.
So Nikhila, in other words, we can say that access group is at the application level, not at the global Pega level, right?
100% yes. Access group is specific to an application and specific to a role as well. See, because I say PRPC managers, I say PRPC administrators. So even I'm tagging a role there. Okay. So I just only introduced you access groups, guys. We will dive deep into this tomorrow. Just don't want to overload too much of theory on this. I request everybody to go to the recording once again on operators and access groups. We will have a quick quiz tomorrow at the beginning of the session on operators and access groups. So please go through it. Okay. Any
Uh,
questions before we wrap up the session?
yeah. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Nikhila, I have yeah, yeah. Okay, yes. I think is my understanding is also access group is
Hmm.
one of the, I think any of the applications to access of the same server of the multiple applications, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Only
that is
applications
also
which are
if you
on the same server will come here. See,
but
only the projects which are there in my machine will come here. The projects which are in your machine will not come here, right? So only on the same server,
mm,
whatever projects are there, they will come.
but operator needs to access the specific applications. I think access of the group inside of anything that right application names or anything of access is one operator ID, right?
Operator ID will have access group. Access group will contain the
Mm,
application name.
okay,
So you can see
okay.
operator ID, access group, application.
I little of a confusion, I think. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So Just remember one thing, guys. See, we just started getting into the important topics like operators, access groups, roles, privileges, role to object, and there is something called as ABAC, which is extremely important from your interview point of view. Okay, especially more than access groups, privileges, roles, role to objects are very important. So they will be very much confusing. So only if you master on operator IDs and access groups today, tomorrow you will understand roles, privileges, and role to objects. Otherwise, trust me, I will not see you in the next session because you already started having confusion. Okay. And remember that we all joined this training to, with some dreams to change the career to Pega. Okay. And let's stay motivated and dedicated towards that. Down the lane, when you look back at yourself, you should really, feel happy for the decision or the hard work that you have done in these 3 months. So keep that in your mind. Make sure you are a part of the live training. How difficult you feel, still stick to the live training and go through the recording. Even if you're a part of live, go through the recording once again, because these topics are very new to you. Today you will remember, 1 week you will remember, after second, third week you will not remember. So make sure you go through the recording. Try to make your own notes if possible in your own language so that you can, recollect later in a easy way. Okay. And once again, operator ID and access group is just like how this is working. So operator ID is Nikhila@gmail.com. Access group is YouTube user, Gmail user, Google Drive user. All these are my access groups granting me access to multiple applications. That's it. This is how operator IDs and access groups are working. Similarly, if you take Amazon, with Amazon, I can even log into Amazon Prime, Amazon Alexa, I can log in, right? The same credentials. So, although we don't have a switch option here, but if I log in into Amazon Prime, okay, with the same credentials, okay, Amazon Alexa login, I can log in into Amazon Alexa, right? With the same credentials, Amazon Prime Video, I can log in, right? So, which means Amazon user ID and password is the operator ID. But I have three access groups: Amazon Shopping, user, Amazon Alexa, user, Amazon Prime, user. So I have three access groups tagged to my operator ID. So I am able to access all the three applications with the same username and password. Anybody has any questions?
Mm, Sorry for the one more doubt. Sorry for that. I think is a application name is also access the application name is a different to specific of applications.
One
Operator
second,
needs to
Raj.
access the
Your question itself is little confusing to me. Access of not, it is access group. Okay. Access group contains application name, role. So like I told you here,
Okay.
prime I'm a user, right? So prime user. If I'm a developer, it will be prime developer. Similarly, Alexa user, Alexa developer, Alexa manager are the access groups. Okay, it is access
Okay.
group, not access of group. Okay.
Okay.
And similarly, it is operator ID, guys. I don't want you to pronounce it like anything else. So I'm just telling you operator ID, access group. Okay. You still may
Yeah.
be confused, but you need to go through the recording once again. This is a new topic and we are diving deep into the security of Pega. So this is a very important interview question. They ask you, can you tell me about the security in Pega? So when somebody asks you about security in Pega, you need to talk about access groups, roles, privileges, role to object, access deny, ABAC, all these things you have to talk about. So we just started into the first one, which is access group. Okay, so master on it before tomorrow's session. Okay, go through it,
Okay.
log in into the portals, open access groups, open operator IDs, look at the content inside them, not just only the video. Okay,
So when can we get this recording,
within
Kila?
1 hour. So it just takes for me 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending on the length of the video. It takes for me to get converted into this MP format, MP4 format.
Okay.
So then within 1 hour it will be available. You will get a notification in the app. If you registered in the app, you will get notification. If those who didn't register, I request you to register. So once the content is
So,
added in that, you will get a notification. I'm also going to update you in the WhatsApp group as well once it is uploaded.
okay. So Nikhila, so we need to access the videos from only app only,
No,
right?
it is app
We
and
don't.
website. I gave you the link. In case if you missed it, ping me in the group. I'll share you, or ping me in person.
Sure. I thought like we can get an
No,
drive space or something, classroom.
no. Some of you might have missed
Can
the
you upload
message.
PDF? Could you upload the PDF for this PowerPoint for this particular topic?
So you don't want this as a PPT? You want it to be like a PDF?
Oh, sorry, PPT, not
I
PDF.
am uploading for the last session. Initially, I kept PDF, then I converted into a PPT and I have done it. But PPT is not
Okay,
being allowed in that website as of now. So I converted into a zip and I have uploaded it. You can download, unzip, and you can watch the PPT.
okay.
And one more thing before we drop off, guys. See, start forming groups. A group of 3 people or 4 people, and start practicing. That way, down the lane, the chances of going off track, or if you are not understanding any concept, or if you're going this thing, you will have somebody to support you and stay motivated. So, ping people offline and not in the groups. Okay, don't spam the group, and try to form a batch and start practicing. Okay. Because from the initial days I'm warning you not to go off track and not to miss a single live session. People who attend more than 90% of the sessions are the people who show me the first 10 offer letters after the training. So please follow these things. Okay, I form groups and start practicing. Any question, ping me in the group. I'll be there to assist
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Nikhila, last question I want to ask.
Sure.
Like in as of now in our laptop we are login, like we have 3 icons: startup,
Mm-mm.
login, and shutdown.
Mm.
So in real environment also we follow the same
Right.
steps to login, or
Okay.
there's a different way?
So in real time, it is installed on a server machine, right? You guys will not have startup shutdowns and login, because right now in your machine only you are working. In real time, I will have 10 developers, I'll have 5 testers, I will have 6 managers. So a lot of people are working on the project, right? So you can't install it on one person's machine. So in real time, it is installed on a server machine, and all of you people will only get the URL to log in. So when you join a company and when you're tagged to a project, your team member is going to provide you the URL of the application. If you just hit the URL, automatically the dev studio will come. You will not get a screen to enter username and password also. So why am I not even entering username and password? That is called a single sign on, which I'll be discussing in the later sessions. Okay. So in real time, don't expect these 3 icons on your desktop. It will be installed on the server machine. You will only have a URL for your application. Hit the URL, that's it. You are on the dev studio. No need to give username password also.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Please join 10 minutes before the session. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Nikhila.
much. Bye bye.
Thanks, Nikhila.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhila.
Thank you,
Thank
Nikhil.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Nikhila.
you so much. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.